Hi, we're here at Le Manoir au Tsierkezos for our LUXE event, and we are interviewing Maria Tsierkezos for our micebook Talks LUXE series. Maria works in corporate events and incentives at a big telecoms company on the corporate side. So let's start off with how sort of luxury events and incentives have evolved for you over the last few years and what's been driving that change.
I think the biggest change for me, to be honest, has, dare I say it, been the rising costs of some of what we're looking at. As a business, our primary objective is always to make sure that the ROI and the KPIs add up and it stacks up for us and for our partners that are often sponsoring or partnering with us to put an incentive on or an event on. So our budgets aren't going up. We all know the cost of everything is going up. However, the one thing I do certainly see as the biggest change is the cost of accommodation right now. Hotel costs are huge. I think they're massively affected by TV shows and what's going on in the media, which creates a bit of a demand of where we want to go, because we know that those are the hotspots and those are the destinations and those are the venues that our winners want to go to. At the same time, the rest of the world wants to go to them as well. The costs go up, so it's about balancing. Do we almost, I don't want to say sacrifice, but do we make some cuts in terms of the accommodation we're staying in and the suppliers we're using versus the immersive experiences? Or do we go, actually, if where you're staying is amazing enough, you remove one of the experiences themselves? And I think it's just that balancing act is something new that has always been there, but I think it's certainly more there now.
So on the sustainability side, obviously everyone's talking about sustainability. We know it's not a key driver yet in terms of deciding where to go and what hotels and to stay at, but do you think it will become a key deciding factor at some point in the next few years?
I think for now it's probably still number 3 in terms of consideration. I think still price is number 1. I think number 2 is attendee or delegate experience, and I think sustainability is number 3. I just don't think we're there quite yet. I also think until it's regulated, properly regulated, it's not really going to be the biggest priority, but that time will come.
What types of destinations and experiences are you finding most popular right now with your incentive winners?
If I look back 15 years ago, I think I certainly first ran my first incentive, even my first conference, they were very heavily F&B focused. There was a lot of partying and it was very lifestyle focused and just having lots of fun and letting your hair down. It was definitely a celebration. Even the conferences we did were still celebrations at the end of a long day of conferencing. I think what I'm seeing now is, whilst of course people are more on that wellness streak, people are a little bit more aware of sustainability as well. The destinations where you don't have to produce are going really high on the agenda. I also think the exchange rate is stopping us using as many cities and some of the more popular European islands that we may have used in the past. It's places like anywhere in Africa right now. We've got 3 programs running in Africa over the next 18 months. The value for money is incredible, but as a result of just being able to go on safari, we're not producing a thing.
Obviously, budget is kind of a big consideration right now, but if it were no object, and obviously I know it always depends on the group and the objectives, but where would you take a group and what kind of incentive you would, if it was your dream incentive?
There's 2 I would love to run. The first I would absolutely love to run would be probably Amalfi Coast. So if money wasn't an option and I could buy out 5 hotels right next door to each other in July in Positano, that's where I would be. The other one, which I am absolutely desperate to take a group on, is the Bellman trains.
Yes.
But again, it's that old world glamour, that Art Deco experience, just a bit of a roll back in time. I'm imagining myself without a clipboard or a lanyard, but with a feather boa, some pearls.
Yeah.
That can be the staff uniform. You can come.
Nice.
You would be there, obviously.
I would be there,
yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
Definitely. I like that. So, crystal ball moment, looking into the future. Obviously, we talked a bit about sustainability becoming more important in the next few years. What sort of changes do you expect to see, say, in maybe the next 5 years?
I think it's been like a full circle moment, because pre-COVID, everyone was traveling for both conferences and incentive travel and retreats and even round tables were kind of abroad. You'd meet in a central European destination. Then COVID happened and everyone became a fan of the staycation. COVID ended and everyone was like, yes, get my passport out, we're going back out. I think what I have noticed is that there have been an extreme rise in the volume and the options and the variety of almost UK-based solutions. Places like Estelle Manor, even Gleneagles, which has been there for years, Cowdray House, the expansion of Pig Hotels. My crystal ball moment is I think UK travel is going to skyrocket, and I'm looking forward to it as long as the sun comes out a bit.
Yeah,
it will be all right.
Unfortunately, as we know from our couple of days here, we can't order the weather, but it's still been an amazing experience, hasn't it?
You can't be disappointed at Le Manoir. I'd happily sit in the rain inside with one of those dairy-free chocolate ganache desserts we had last night. I'd be happy with it.
Yeah, it's delicious. Thank you so much for joining me. Thanks, Maria.